Assalamu alaikum. Very important 2 marks question and answers in biochemistry. Okay, and this gives you maximum marks in biochemistry, and these are selected from the question papers. These are not printed directly or scripted way. These are selected only from the question papers. You solve this, you will get maximum marks in your 2 marks. Let's start that. The first question here is name the therapeutic applications of enzyme. See, therapeutic application, what are the applications of enzymes? Here you have to write the principal therapeutic application of enzyme are the thrombolytic agents, means capable of rapidly lysing the clots. Mainly the therapeutic use of the enzyme is to lyse the clots, means they will just break down the clots. If the clots are not break down, if they are not catabolize, okay, if they are not breakdown, means at that time what happens, myocardial infarction takes place. Okay, the clotting increases, means what happens, the heart stop, means in the heart the bleeding get accumulated. Due to that way what happens, the clotting increases there. If clot increase, means the blood cannot pass, that leads to myocardial infarction or pulmonary embolysis, means pulmonary lung diseases mainly. Enzymes are now increasingly being used in medical applications such as therapeutics, drug delivery, diagnostic use. In every situations we are using the enzymes in many ways. Next one, types of glycogen storage diseases. See, von Gerke disease, Cori disease, Anderson disease. These are the three diseases. Those are glycogen storage disease. Next, if you discuss, write a significance of 5-hydroxy trapped amine and noradrenaline. See, 5-hydroxy trapped amine act both as a neurotransmitter and a vasoconstrictor. Means neurotransmit means here it transfers the messages from one neuron to another, and vasoconstrictor is it will construct the vessels. If it construct the vessels, means what happen, automatically your blood pressure increases. Okay, so it is very important to increase the BP. 5-hydroxytryptamine. Noradrenaline uses, means noradrenaline, it also noradrenaline increases alertness. It increases alertness, then arousal attention, then constricts blood vessel. Okay, then helps to maintain BP in times of stress. Which one? This noradrenaline. Then what is hyperbilirubinemia? Hyperbilirubinemia is a condition in which a buildup of the bilirubin where in the blood, causing a yellow discoloration of the eyes skin. Basically it's known as the jaundice. That condition is known as hyperbilirubinemia. Yes. Next, if we discuss, means the fifth question of our today's lecture, name the inhibitor and uncouplers of the electron transport chain. The most important known inhibitors of the electron transport chain are amytal, roteone, then antimycin A, CO, then sodium azide and cyanides. From here you just write 3 to 4. Then the most potent uncouplers, those are phenol SF, then hydrophobic salicylanide, hydrophobic salicyl analide, S13. These are the uncouplers. You have to practice these questions. These are the new questions. They are framed into 2 marks. Next, define essential amino acids. You know better. Essential means which are not synthesized in our human body. Okay, which cannot be synthesized by the body and are required for the normal health and proper functioning of the body. Example is methionine, valine, tryptophan, leucine, isoleucine, histidine. These are the essential amino acids. Now let's discuss, name the enzymes present in DNA replication. Which enzymes are present? Mainly DNA polymerase, helicase, ligase and topoisomerase. These are the 4 important enzymes which play a vital role in DNA manipulation. Then 8th one, name the glucogenic amino acid. Tryptophan, phenylalanine, tyrosine, isoleucine and threonine. Okay, threonine. These are the 5 important glucogenic amino acids. Next, what are cofactors? These are the non-protein chemical compound that is bound to a protein and is required for the protein's biological activity. To conduct the protein biological activity, these play a vital role. Which one? Cofactors. Basically, these are non-protein. Here the protein is absent, but it helps in the protein biological reactions. Example, vitamins, minerals, ATP and NADPH. Okay, these all are the example for the cofactors. Yes, now let's discuss with the 10th question. Sorry. The 10th question is define and classify in the process by which fatty acids are broken down. Sorry. Here see, this is the define and classify fatty acid. Just cover it. Define and classify fatty acid. Okay, fatty acid primarily enter a while. You do one thing, you leave this question, 10th question, later we will discuss about that. Let's come to 11th. Write the types of diabetes mellitus. 2 types, diabetes 1, diabetes 2 majorly. But if we discuss in depth means one more is there, gestational diabetes. Type 1 means here what happens, just I will give overview. Here due to the less production of the insulin, okay, insulin or resistance of the insulin, this leads to the type 1 diabetes. Okay, then it is autoimmune disease. Then type 2 is less amount of glucose production. Gestational diabetes occurs mainly during the pregnancy, gestational diabetes, and this is the temporary diabetes. Which one? Gestational. What is phenylketonuria? A birth defect that causes an amino acid called phenylalanine to build up in the body. Newborns should be screened for phenylketonuria, PKU. Mainly you write this one, this is a birth defect. Here what happens, phenylalanine, amino acid that start building up in our blood, in our body, that leads to phenylketonuria. Define and classify jaundice. Jaundice, also known as icterius, is a yellowish and a greenish pigmentation of the skin, and sclera means your eye sclera. Okay, that leads to the bilirubin levels high. There are main 3 types of jaundice are there: prehepatic, then hepatocellular and posthepatic. These are the 3 important classification. Write the difference between DNA and RNA. DNA, you know that it is a double stranded molecule and it has a long chain of nucleotides. RNA, it is a single chain molecule with a shorter chain of nucleotides. Then DNA replicates on its own, it is a self-replicating. But here on the other side, RNA is not a self-replicating. 15th one here. Write the amphibolic nature of the Krebs cycle. Many times this question was asked. An amphibolic pathway is one which is used for both breakdown and breakup reaction. Breakdown for both, for catabolic and anabolism. Krebs cycle is amphibolic because it provides the number of intermediates for the anabolic pathway. Just to remember here why it known as the amphibolic nature means because this Krebs cycle conducts both the reaction. It conducts anabolic reaction also, catabolic reaction also. For this wave, for this reactions, for this nature, it is known as the amphibolic nature of Krebs cycle. Then give the biological significance of carbohydrates. Write the importance. It serves as the storage of metabolic fuel for the living organism, helps in breakdown of fatty acids, prevent ketosis, and also act as a flavor and sweeteners. Okay. Then what are translation and transcription? First see transcription. Transcription, first one. Here what happens, synthesis of the RNA from the DNA template. Okay, this is known as a transcription. Translation means synthesis of the protein from the messenger RNA, mRNA. Simple, this is a translation. First you write transcription, preparation, synthesis of the RNA from DNA. Then translation, synthesizing of the protein from messenger RNA. Yes, next one, 18, define enzyme induction. Enzyme induction can be defined as the increase in the biosynthesis of the catalytical active enzyme following exposure of the organism to chemical agents. Simple, what is the enzyme induction means? Enzyme induction, it is the increase in the biosynthesis of the active enzymes which leads to the fast process in the human body. Okay, then give the diagnostic importance of the enzyme. Diagnostic, many enzymes are preferred markers for the detection of the various diseases such as jaundice, myocardial infarction, neurodegenerative diseases and cancer disorders, cancer. These are the very important diagnostic based diseases which can be diagnosed by using the enzymes. And one more test, ELISA test. Okay, ELISA test, ELISA. enzyme linked immune sorbent assay. It is also very important test. That test was conducted to test positive or negative of the HIV patient, AIDS patient, ELISA test. And today we are using polymerase test for which one? COVID patient. Okay, polymerase test. Name the essential fatty acids. Essential fatty acid include linoleic acid, omega 6 fatty acid, alpha linoleic acid, and omega 3 fatty acid. These are the very important 3 to 5 essential fatty acid. Then what is hypercholesterolemia? See, high amounts of cholesterol in the body is known as hypercholesterolemia. High cholesterol can limit blood flow, increase the heart rate, means risk of heart attack or stroke. It is detected by the blood test. 22nd question, write the functions of a tRNA, transfer RNA. tRNA acts as an adapter molecule for linking amino acid to its specific codon in the mRNA template. Just it acts as an adapter. Okay, it plays an adapter role. What it will do, it will link the amino acid to the mRNA. Okay, mRNA. This helps in the protein synthesis. Define nucleosides and nucleotides. What are these nucleosides? These are responsible for coding, then transmitting and expressing genetic information in the human cell. Which one? That is the nucleosides. If you talk about nucleotides, means nucleotides are building blocks of the nucleic acid, that is DNA and RNA. These are the two types of nucleic acid. The nucleotides are composed of the nitrogenous base, 5 carbon sugar, that is ribose or deoxyribose, and at least one phosphate group. This, if you write, means you will get here 2 marks, very easy. Then name the enzymes and coenzymes present in pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. Enzymes present in pyruvate dehydrogenase complex is a pyruvate dehydrogenase or pyruvate decarboxylase. This is the enzyme. Now if we discuss about coenzyme, means coenzyme A, nicotinamide, adenine, dinucleotide, okay, and lipoic acid. These are the coenzyme present in the pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. Yes, my dear brothers and sisters, these are the very important questions in your biochemistry. This one, 10th question, just tilted. This one is a define and classify fatty acid. Okay, what you have to refer that and write down this. Okay, just I am not getting that question properly because due to the auto setup in this presentation one. So what happens? Some mistakes will be printed directly in the presentation. So what? So for that reason, this was get misguided. Okay, so leave that 10 question. You just refer other 21 question. These are very important one. Just don't skip any question from these biochemistry important 2 mark question and answers. Take the screenshot and keep it ready for your examination in biochemistry. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.